here with Dave Palumbo. We're talking about DNP. As you guys know, I've done a lot of DNP and my athletes use it all the time. It is a deadly fat-burning drug, actually a chemical, a fertilizer chemical, definitely not for human consumption. Definitely results in death if you overdose. Definitely not recommending anybody use it, but I document my use of it and I show my athletes using it, and it's worked really well for us to burn body fat. In fact, so well that a lot of us have kind of stopped dieting and kind of rely on it, which isn't good, right? We're supposed to use these chemicals on top of proper diet and training. But you have some thoughts about DNP because you know a lot of athletes that use it, and you know how dangerous it can be.
I actually don't know a lot of people that use it. I'm sure people do use it out there that I'm not aware of. Hopefully none of my athletes use it. I don't recommend it. It's one of those things that, and I'm not conservative by any means. I'm probably one of the least conservative people in the industry, but I believe there's certain ways of doing things and certain ways of not doing things, and I just think DNP, while the mechanism of action is great, it kind of wastes calories. It makes the mitochondrial membranes leak ATP before they're produced. It releases the energy as heat. And it's kind of like, I explain to people, poking a hole in the gas tank of your car. Your car drives still, but it gets bad gas mileage. Yeah. And it's a good mechanism. I used to sell a fat burner. My original lipolyze used arsenic acid, and it was a similar mechanism work. The problem with DNP is that the LD50, or the lethal dose 50, is very close to the effective dose for fat burning, which means that you can easily go over the edge. Mm-hmm. And I feel that safety net is not there. And I think that people are extremists by nature. They're not methodical about the way they do things. Who knows who's dosing these pills? And I think it's an accident waiting to happen. And I don't want it on my watch. If other people want to do it without me knowing, I don't care. But under my watch, I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's necessary. I think there's enough tools out there to get people in shape that they don't have to go to these extremes to use a product like DNP. Now, like I said, if that's what you want to do or someone else wants to do, I don't tell people what to do. I just disseminate information, and I think to me it's very dangerous.
Yeah, the risk is that the half-life is so long. What happened to my girlfriend, my first experience with DNP about 10 years ago was my girlfriend took it on day 1. She took a pill, she didn't feel it. Day 2, she took a couple. She felt a little warm. She's like, I can crank this up. Day 3, she's already got the pills from day 1 and 2 in her system. And then she takes an even larger dose, overheats, and ends up in the bottom of the shower, having to the cold shower on her to not die from overheating. Right. That was my first
that's probably that's not that's right then and there. That would have told me enough, but it's scary. And I remember seeing a video of yours where you said you were taking 1,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah. And
I told a few people about this who knew DNP. John Romano and I were talking about it, and he's like, this guy's nuts because no one takes 1,000 milligrams of this stuff. Right. You have to be insane to do that. That could have been really dangerous, which, might tell me that maybe the pills are underdosed. I don't know, because that's a very high amount.
Yeah, not underdosed, but what happens is, since it has a long half-life and builds up in the system, if I take 1,000 milligrams, and first of all, someone could take 1,000 and die. Okay, so people have different sensitivities to it. But I had taken 200 milligrams for one day, see how that fits. And then 400, not consecutive days because then it builds up. So I worked my way up to being able to do 1,000 milligrams in one day. And since if I do it for just one day and I didn't take it the day before that, then that's all that's in my body. So, and doing 1,000 milligrams for one day is kind of like doing 500 milligrams every day because the amount that you have in your body that accumulates. So that's how I did it. So my theory was, for me, because I'm terrible at dieting, and I'm a horrible example for the fans, honestly, about how my dieting has been lately, especially whenever there's a bodybuilding show. Afterwards, you gorge yourself.
Sure.
So I hit 1,000 milligrams for one day, shave off a pound of fat in one day, and then go back to my normal life of caloric surplus.
I don't know. I still think it's very dangerous, and like I said, it is what it is. You got to remember, when you're oxidizing that much fat too, in exorbitant amounts in the mitochondria, there's a humongous load of free radicals being produced as well, which, if you're not combating that with super antioxidants in your body, you're definitely going to do some damage to the cells. So we don't really know what the long-term damage of that is, or exposure to that is, those high loads of, of free radicals. There's a lot of studies that show high loads of free radicals cause cancer,
Right.
And it's not that they cause cancer. What they're doing is those free radicals are basically rogue electrons that are zipping all over the place like little BBs. But they're so small, they actually can pierce the DNA of the cells. So when you damage the DNA of the cells, they replicate wrong, then you can get, obviously cancer cell or erratic cell, production. Now, if your immune system's working well, it'll clean up the garbage. If it's not, and a lot of times, you know, when you're dieting, you're in an immune suppressed state, you can have problems. So once again, it's one of these things that it does work, the drug, but it's the dangers behind it and the long-term health ramifications, to me, are not worth the benefit to risk ratio.
Last question. It's about how many people that you think are on DNP, because this is a good example for all steroids and synthol and everything. What happens is people hear, or that's IGF even, people hear, oh, IGF, so-and-so's on IGF. That's what all the pros are on. And they think, oh, everybody's on IGF. No, you know, some use IGF, some use synthol, some do and some don't. And with DNP, is it the same thing, you think? Like, a few people use it, and then if word gets out, then all of a sudden everybody thinks, DNP is how you get super shredded?
I think that it's a smaller percentage of the population than used other drugs because of the danger. I think a lot of people know the dangers associated with it. You can Google it and see that there is dangers and there's been deaths from it. So only your extreme people are going to use it, and maybe people who are in a situation where they're behind in schedule and they're trying to play catch up or something like that. I still don't recommend people use it for that, but I think that's when you're going to see most of these people use it. I don't think, probably most people not like yourself and just like it.
Get enhanced. Become superhuman. Welcome to the future of health.